Hello there and then welcome to a brand new video. This is How Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. Now in this lesson, we are looking at how to multiply and divide numbers in standard form. That is, if a number is written to you already in standard form and you want to multiply and divide them, how do you go about it? Just a recap, we said numbers that are written in standard form or scientific notations are of the form a times n raised to the power n. And we said that a is always greater than 0 and then less than 10. So you can say a is greater than or equal to 1, less than or equal to 9. Whilst our n can be any number at all that is an integer. So now that this is said, we can take an example as 3.4 times 10 to the power 4, which is in standard form, or 6.7 times 10 raised to the power negative 2. You realize that both numbers have these here that are between 0 and then 10. Whereas our index here are integers, 4 and then negative 2. Now, in this lesson, as I've said, we are looking at how to multiply and then divide these numbers. So let's look at the rules that govern these operations. So as you can see here, these are the steps we'll be considering. First of all, if we want to multiply or divide a number, right, you'd multiply or divide the first part. Okay, you multiply or divide the first part, after which you add or subtract. So that is when you are multiplying, then you have to add or subtract the powers of 10. If you are dividing, then you have to subtract the powers of the 10. After all this, you just adjust the answer so that the number before the power is between 1 and 10. What we mean is you just write your answer in the standard form as required. So let's look at some examples that can help us understand these rules or basic steps. So for this very first one here, which is actually that relating to multiplication, how do we go about it? We have 3 times 10 raised to the power 4. Then we are multiplying it by 2 times 10 to the power 3. Unlike addition and subtraction, where we said we have to take note of the index, this one isn't that way. So we take the numbers, that is 3 times 2, you see. So just these numbers over here. And then you'd multiply them by the index as well. So 10 raised to the power 4 times 10 raised to the power 3. It's something like grouping like terms, you see. Then we come and say 3 times 2. 3 times 2 gives us 6. Then we have, since the bases are the same, we write 1 and then 4 plus 3 as our index. So 4 plus 3 we know gives us a 7. Hence, this here is our final answer of 3 times 10 to the power 4 times 2 times 10 to the power 3. Very, very simple, right? So looking at our first question, our second question, unlike the previous one, we are actually dividing, you see. And if we want to divide, just as we did for the multiplication, we follow the same procedure. So 8 times 10 raised to the power 5. Then we have divided by 2 times 10 to the power 3. So let's pick the numbers. That is 8 divided by 2. You see, so 8 divided by 2 in a bracket. Then we have this other digit, which is 10 raised to the power 5 divided by 10 raised to the power 3. We know 8 divided by 2 gives us a 4. So we have our 4 times, if we are dividing index notations or numbers written as indices, you have the 5, then minus 3. Why? Because we are dividing. So 10 raised to the power 5 minus 3. And you know 5 minus 3 gives us what? A 2. So this is our answer. That is 4 times 10 raised to the power 2. Let's look at one last example that will actually involve, let me say, decimal. And then this time around, I would actually look at a word problem. So for this last question here, it says the speed of light is approximately 3 times 10 to the power 8 meter per second. Now, The time taken for light to travel from the moon to the earth is about 1.28 seconds. Find the distance from the moon to the earth in standard form. This is a very interesting and nice question. You can pause the video and then try your hands on it just to test your understanding. Now, if you're able to do something, you can let me know in the comment section what your answer was before we do it together. Our solution, we've been given the speed of light, you see, and then we also have the time. If your basic scientific formulas are good, then you should know that the distance is equal to the speed times time. You see, distance is speed times time. And the question has asked us to look for what? The distance. From the question, we know our speed was what? 3 times 10 to the power 8 meter per second. And then we've also been given our time. You see, our time to be what? 1.28 seconds. So it simply means the distance that we want is then going to be equal to the speed, which is 3 times 10 raised to the power 8 meter per second times your 1.28 seconds. Do you see that? So if you have to rewrite it in the normal form we have solved so far, it is actually okay, our 3 then times your 10 to the power 8, all right, then times 1.28. We see there is no power of 10. So we can even say times 10 is the power 0 because there is no power of 10. You see, then we take our numbers. So 3 times 1.28. Then we also take the tens. 10 raised to the power 8 times 10 raised to the power 0, right? Then you do your multiplication. 3 times 1.28. You know, if you want to multiply with decimals or divide with decimal, you'd work assuming there is no decimal. That is 128 times my 3. And 3 times 8 gives me a 24. So I write my 4 carry 2. 326 plus my 2 here gives me 8. Then I have 3 times what? Your 1, giving you your 3. If you're able to evaluate, then you come and check how many decimal places you have in total. This has none, whilst this has 2. So we are just going to move it twice so that we put our decimal over here. You get it? So then we can say 3 times 1.28 is giving us a 3.84. Then times 10 raised to the power 8 times 10 raised to the power 0. Because we are just adding 0 to 2, that gives us, we are adding 0 to 8. That still remains 8. So that we have 10 raised to the power 8 this here as our final answer. So it simply means that the distance from the moon to the earth, don't say therefore, the distance from the moon to the earth is 3.84 times 10 to the power 8. As simple as that. So this is how far we are going to get. And if you found this lesson helpful, you can always like the video and then comment at the comment section as well. I'll leave some exercises as I usually do just to test your understanding. So these are the exercises you have. That is 4 and then 1 word problem making 5. You can test your hands or you can try your hands on them and then just to test your understanding. Once again, this is Hap Beyond Numbers. If this is your first time and you so do wish, you can choose to subscribe so that anytime I release a lesson, you'll be notified as well. Stay blessed, then bye for now.